This is our weekly tradition presented by our friends at the DQs of Northwest Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Real takes from real talkers. Comments on our YouTube episodes and emails to talk@ryanjesperson.com, like this one from Wayne, who says, Jespo, I wonder, he says, when Trump is coming for podcasters, right? With Jimmy Kimmel on pause, he says podcasters may not be able to be canceled like Kimmel, but I bet you Donald Trump will sue them. He says, I'm really looking forward to, as a matter of fact, to Donald Trump suing Ben Meislis, a former lawyer. This is the co-founder of the Midas Touch podcast. He says Meislis will be able to handle himself and probably even looks forward to that lawsuit. That's from Wayne. What about this one from Ross, who says, Jespo, you missed the main point in all your comments on the Kimmel thing. A good Canadian boy should know these things. Jimmy Kimmel just isn't funny. That from Ross. Ross, I totally disagree. What about this one from Robert, who says, Jespo, I'm enjoying the conversations on Real Talk, but I beg of you, please don't both sides this time in history. The sides are insanity, and there's out-of-control bigotry. Please don't be insane and bigoted. This is not a both sides issue. The stuff you're talking about, no matter how open-minded us white dudes can be, we're still living in a bubble. I recommend you talk to people who are the targets of white nationalists for their views, for a sense of what political violence looks like to them. That's a great point and a great reminder. What about this one from 29 Tillers, who says, how much did they pay you, Ryan, to deceive all Canadians regarding gun control while sitting down with the Prime Minister? Why wouldn't you ask for any kinds of details? Are you not allowed to ask any other questions, or did you choose not to? When the Prime Minister is clearly lying directly to your face on a very serious subject, it is your responsibility to ask qualifying, intelligent questions. You, Ryan, are what's wrong with this country's media. You are a sellout. Your biased performance is pathetic. If you can, try to do better. You will be remembered for this. You have no journalistic integrity at all. We lost a lot of respect for you today. At least we know your true colors. I guess 29 Tiller must have missed, like, Alberta's premier 2 days later talking about it. Probably didn't know we asked the Canadian Coalition for Firearms Rights to be on, and definitely didn't know that we have lawyer Ian Runkle booked for next Tuesday. So 29 Tiller, I will see you next Tuesday. Peter says, Jespo, I watched your interview with Mark Carney and heard the flat-out lies on the federal gun confiscation. Shame on you, Jesperson, for not challenging the Prime Minister. Typical Canadian journalism, I'm sorry to say. You know, Carney claims it's a voluntary return of firearms for compensation. Not true. Carney has made me a criminal, says Peter. You said it's not sporting rifles. Not true. Many of the firearms specified in the bans are cosmetic versions of traditional guns, and you said it's not assault rifles, or it is about assault rifles. Not true, says Peter. As anyone with knowledge of firearms knows, assault rifles have been banned in Canada for decades. That from Peter. And how about this one from Kayne with a reminder as we wrap our broadcast week. Kayne says, Jespo, I said it to you 6 months ago, and I'll say it again. The world was told to remember what certain ideologies cause, and there is no doubt now that as the Americans ban the anti-fascists, that the power now is exactly that. Fascist. Kayne says, I want to remind real talkers and fellow Canadians that the poppy remains a powerful symbol that we can reanimate to show our solidarity. It's not a left or right symbol. It's a symbol of past lessons paid for with millions of lives. Kayne, we'll wrap with that on a busy week. We'll be back at it Monday morning with Supriya Dwivedi. There's our technical director, John Hicks, in another episode of The Flamethrower, presented by the DQs in Palisades, Namao, Newcastle, Westmount, and Baseline Road. When you pop in this weekend for a Score Blizzard and a Flamethrower signature stack burger, you make sure you let them know Real Talk sent ya. Thanks, everybody, for the support. We'll talk to you again soon.